I could not get any of the 3 networks that was on my phone. I'm talking practically, forget sentiment about it. It's not the job of politicians to provide access to those things. And there's no statement about this. It's a business decision of those that are in telecoms to see where they want to do coverage in that regard. And that is why the sector is decentralized. But as our economy expands, as our economic development expands, then you'll be able to do that. So let us forget about sentiment that somebody should be ashamed that there is no network for coverage in an area. And all of us here, we also know that we are challenged in the area of electricity, and it's not something that starts today. So it's not a question of electricity now. The question I ask you is this: should we lie as to what is all of us know to be the reality because we want to look good because of some people? And I also had lectured at Ifetedo. When I leave Modakeke and going to Ifetedo, I know that total, absolute no total, data, the coverage in those areas, network coverage. I also know that even between Ede and the world, these are cosmopolitan area. I don't know about north, I don't know about east, but I know about my area. So then let us put sentiment. But now to ask real question that you have asked as to where and practicable. Yes, I will answer you as a lawyer. When you are drafting legislation, when you put discretion and unqualified discretion, there is possibility that those discretion may be abused. Where and when practicable? Number one, you have to first determine what is the parameter for determining practicability. That means that you are leaving it entirely to the INEC. The question I ask, does INEC have the competence to determine network coverage on its own? Will it also not have to rely on the services of the Nigerian Communication Commission? So why are we hiding away, and are we pretending, or are you saying that the NCC is an arm of the APC or an arm of the federal government? It's an institution of Nigeria. So we must derobe ourselves of sentiment and reality about it. So when you talk of practicable, what are the ingredients of the practicability? It's not here. It's nebulous, indistinct, and capable of being misused. So discretion all over the world has propensity to be abused if it's not properly regulated. And that is why in the context of administrative law, since you said I should talk as a lawyer, when even delegated legislations are given, there are safeguards to that delegated legislation. One of these is that you must lay before you implement, so that the legislative body will be able to see that what you have laid is in line with aspiration of the policies of the government. There must also be possibly subsequent ratification of exercise of delegated power. And then you must read section 53 in the context of the totality of section 3 provided for. Section 3 allow INEC to decide on mode of election, and he said may include electronic voting. So it's not even shall, it's a discretion. It may include electronic voting. Then the amendment that was voted for said that commission may consider electronic transmission of results. So there's no controversy that anybody is saying in all cases there must not be electronic transmission of results. But in order to safeguard that certain interest does not go and influence application of transfer of results in a way detrimental to certain parts of our community, and it's not limited to a section of the country, then we must have a certification as to two things: security of the network and adequacy of the network. If you know the controversy and the delegitimization that went into the last presidential election, even in the United States of America, these are matters that you cannot take with levity. Even the previous election and intervention of Russia in the election must also be adverted to. So when we talk about this thing, it's not just about sentiment. It's not about saying you want to look good in to certain people because you want something that is high sounding. But the reality is that as of today, what is the level of our coverage and what is the level of security of data in the context of Nigeria? We know what happened in Kenya in an election when issues had to be resolved on whether what was recorded and what was transmitted was actually the result of that election. In the previous election, they could not be able to challenge that election until the court had to adopt an adversarial method and a inquisitorial method by asking the electoral officer to bring the database and the server, and they discovered that a lot of electoral errors had actually been concluded. So this is a matter of integrity of our electoral process and a lot of sentiment. And I also laugh, I must say, when people stand up and say, I stand up and I vote for transmission of election results. Yes, I vote for transmission of election results, but the discretion on when and how it should be used must be on certification by science. Unless you are saying today that NCC is not an institution of repute and that is funded by the Nigerian army people. Then talk about whether election transmission will be used in 2021 or 2023 election. I said 52 should be read holistically. Even whether electronic voting will be used for 2023 election is just permissive. It's not compulsory. 52, if I can have I can read the whole 52 to us so that we can have the whole 52 section, the bill by, so that you can read the whole 52 so that we don't misinform Nigerian people. Nobody has said, INEC, you must do electronic voting. We only give permission to them if they so desire to be able to do so. And when it comes to transmission of election results, we have not said you cannot transmit election results. Let us certify the circumstances and the adequacy and the security of that. No, the main bill is the big bill. So it will be good to read the whole 52 holistically, so that the question of whether election will be done 52(1). Voting at an election under this bill shall be by open secret ballot. Subsection 2. Voting at an election under this bill shall be in accordance with the procedure determined by the commission, which may include electronic voting. Then the subsection 3, as amended, now say that the commission may transmit results, may consider electronic transmission of results, provided the national network coverage is adjudged to be adequate and secure by the National Communication Commission. So I think that's clear here about it. So there's nothing sacrosanct to say that there will be electronic voting in 2023. There may or may not, depending on the circumstances that we may find ourselves.
I can't say for you whether you address the aspect of the National Assembly coming in, working in conjunction with the NCC to determine.
We are not working in conjunction. Please, what it says that when NCC has made that determination, they should present it before the National Assembly for authentication.
But don't you think it's against the doctrine of checks and balances? Because for the parliament to come in at that level, it's supposed to be another aspect of government. Don't you think it's something like necessarily a canopy into the jurisdiction that's not yours? Another lawyer. I don't know whether you are a lawyer.
You are a lawyer. If you're a lawyer, you also know that when you talk of checks and balances and separation of powers, there is also interdependence as to it. Otherwise, if the separation of power is sacrosanct, then the president has no business sending the ministerial nominee to us in the National Assembly. If, as you said, there is that rigid separation of power, NCC will not bring his budget to the National Assembly. INEC will also not bring his budget. There is interdependence of all arms of government in the context of checks and balances. What the National Assembly seek to do is to see that NCC, using its own science and methodology, bring a return as to certification, as to adequacy and security. We are not knowledgeable in that. So it's not a question of want to vote on it or want to, but we want to be sure that somebody has not gone to go and procure certification of adequacy or security in other regards. So as far as I'm concerned, to answer your question, it has not negative implication on checks and balances or separation of power. Thank you. I know
I don't need the network for whatever. I say almost everywhere. I didn't say don't need network or electricity.